getting a little oversteery.
This is the worst driver I ever. That's the guy, good driver. I really like, best driver I met.
Thank you so much.
Performance, it felt safe and this means a lot.
Thank you. This guy has lost his form and this car has lost its cylinders. This is the Mercedes-AMG C63 E-Performance F1 edition. This is the key of the vehicle. This is the first C63 which has 4 cylinders. This is the first C63 which has 4-wheel drive, and this car's price has also gone up quite a lot because this car costs rupees 2.31 crores on road Mumbai, out of which 8 lakh goes for insurance and almost 27 lakhs goes for the registration of this car. This car is a sedan, but it weighs as much as an SUV because the weight has gone up dramatically because of the hybrid powertrain of this vehicle. And in spite of the fact that it has lesser cylinders, prices have still gone up. So yes, reducing cylinders doesn't mean cost effectiveness, but the hybrid technology is actually quite expensive. In fact, this car is now American because Americans are obviously obese, but this car weighs more than the E63 and the M5 as well, the previous generation models obviously, because of the hybrid powertrain. Straight away, let's open the engine bay, and there it is. It is still a handcrafted engine, Mercedes-AMG Germany it says. Strut brace right there, only 4 of these because 4 cylinders obviously. The engine seems a bit loud here. Washer fluid goes in right there. There is insulation here obviously. This car comes standard with the AMG drivers package, which means top speed is increased from 250 km per hour to 280 km per hour, and customers will get to go to Nürburgring to polish their driving skills as well. Complimentary when you purchase this car, but it weighs 385 kgs more than its nearest competitor, which is obviously the BMW M3 X-Drive, and the M3 is also available with rear-wheel drive and a manual transmission, making it lighter still. But does the weight actually affect the performance of this car? Is something I'm going to find out today on the Budh International Circuit. You get the typical Mercedes-AMG elements with this grille, the massive Mercedes logo, a really sporty bumper here with huge openings as well for better breathing, the digital lights which look lovely, and the AMG logo right here. And forgive me for having a car with all this flashed all over the place because I'm getting limited time to actually shoot this car. You get 6 parking sensors at the front, and because this is the F1 edition, Mercedes is not performing well in F1 right now, but they have taken F1 tech and put it in this car. That's the reason you get this red treatment below, and you get this active aero bit as well. Not active, I mean the bumper is having some sort of an aero treatment as well. But what is this fake stuff happening here? It says Turbo E-Performance. These are forged wheels, 20-inch in size. 265 35 20 is the size of the tires. Alloy wheel design, you tell me whether you like it or not. Red colored brake caliper, says AMG right there. These are not carbon ceramic discs. Carbon ceramic discs are actually optional, but because of regen, you really need carbon ceramic discs because the brake feel isn't the best. The C-Class is obviously now on steroids in the form of the C63. I mean, it has always been on steroids, but the older C63 was obviously more raw and unadulterated and sounded better as well. AMG stickering here, sort of subtle. The rear tire size is actually bigger here because this is a 275 35 20. This is where charging happens, slow charging. Request sensors on all the doors. Space at the rear is not that impressive because C-Class is not that spacious as such. So here you can see I have the tickle function from here, both the sides, and under tire support is not the best. 4-zone climate control air conditioning system. There's a big hump here, so center passenger will not be happy, but he does get a head. You get a center armrest with cup holder, so that's the phone holder. This does not open, or what? No, it does not open. You get red seat belts which add 0.04 horsepower as well. Dual roofs, one big one at the front which opens. This one does not open, it's a moon roof obviously. Seats are nice and comfortable, ISOFIX child seat mounts, red treatment here. Yeah, the interior looks fab, height adjustable seat belts at the front. Doors open wide enough, and obviously you get a sun blind here which is sort of manual, and I'm not being able to do it properly in first go. Let's shut this. So this being an AMG obviously has AMG bits, like a very aggressive diffuser. Look at that. That's for channeling in air. It has got quad exhaust. I don't know why, because the car doesn't sound loud enough. 6 parking sensors. This fake stuff which Mercedes is doing in almost most of its cars. A subtle spoiler here says C63S, and it says AMG right there. I opened the boot and I'm disappointed to see that the boot space has actually decreased quite a lot here because the battery is placed here and there's obviously a step up, which means that the boot space is around 280 liters, around 150 liters lesser when compared to before, and the charging cable is not there right now, which means boot space will suffer even further. Let's push this seat down. 60-40 split, obviously there's nothing below here, so there is no spare wheel. Let me press this to shut it. That's not needed, a power tailgate, but it's there. Camera pops out from here. This car obviously has a 360-degree parking camera as well. So again, you have this nice treatment for better aero efficiency, I believe. And you can see the width of the tire from here. Yeah, the tire is actually quite big. So I've just put the seat down, I folded it. Let me push it back up and there it shuts. Let me turn on the air conditioning as well. Tickly tickly. Okay, what do you have here? Yeah, you have a Burmester sound system, which has I think 15 speakers, 710 watt output. Extremely important in this car because this car has fake sounds to make you feel that you're close to the older C63 in terms of the sound experience, because this car is quite silent. This M139 engine is way more raw in the A45 AMG. But here I don't know why it's so silent. You get a camera here for the lane keep assist, another camera here, I think that automatically activates if you're on the track or if you're on a signal to tell you what's ahead. Rain sensing wipers obviously, and you get these sporty AMG seats which are obviously optional. Standard, it does not come with these seats, and this AMG thing should be illuminating. Again, big door pockets. You have got memory function here. You got heating and ventilation for the seats as well. The Burmester sound system is obviously fantastic. It says airbag here. I think it has got 7 airbags, and you get a sort of a dead pedal. You get the AMG steering wheel, which obviously has the flat bottom treatment, and there are I think 18 buttons on the steering wheel, which is not that easy to operate. You get a heads-up display as well. This is an 11.9-inch portrait screen, which is amazing in terms of quality, and then the usual Mercedes bits. Very easy to browse through all this. There, let's get into the performance, because there are so many things you can see, like the energy flow, the drive, the vehicle, the engine, and obviously the IWC clock as well. In fact, it's so data heavy that it will tell you at what RPM are the turbochargers spinning. Yeah, 1.5 lakh RPM. That also tells you. Isn't that crazy? And track pace has been updated, because now it is like super duper crazy. We have the boost circuit here, and I can get into the boost strategy from here. And I mean, this is absolute maddening in terms of the kind of data it has to offer. It gets a 360-degree parking camera here, which is awesome. Parking assistance, I mean, self park is obviously there. Lot of buttons here. So this is again for the parking camera, fingerprint, biometric sensor. Let's get into the AMG setting, because there's so many parameters you can change, and they are freaking 8 drive mode. There's a slippery drive mode, there's individual, there's battery hold, wherein it will maintain this level of battery, whatever the battery is at the moment. Then there's electric drive mode, which is absolutely silent. You can't hear a thing at all. There's comfort, there's sport plus, and obviously there has to be a race mode as well for the racetrack. Piano black finishing here, twin cup holders, 2 USB-C charging sockets, wireless charger is kind of hidden there. Again, 2 USB-C charging sockets, good amount of space here, and this is a lockable glove box which has a shelf on the top as well. 4-zone climate control air conditioning system. It actually has a drift mode too, so you can go to rear wheel drive mode only. However, when you're driving the car aram se, this car is actually technically on rear wheel drive mode only, because then it's only the battery which is kicking in and powering the car, thereby being efficient. So drift mode or cruising mode, rear wheel drive only. 50% of the power can be channeled to the front wheels, 100% to the rear wheels to activate drift mode. Yeah, the car's quality is amazing. And this cluster is a 12.3-inch unit. You have got multiple views here. So there's track pace, there's super sport, there's classic, understated navigation assistance and service. My personal favorite is obviously the classic one, which I think is awesome. Let me rev it. Yeah, there's a soft limiter. So yeah, in terms of trying to save the environment, Mercedes wants to be at the forefront, and that's the reason this downsizing has happened. Actually, it's happened for another reason altogether, which I'll tell you while driving this car. But this track pace is quite cool. You have a G-force meter, the circuit, lap timer, and all those things are here. And you can make a lot of changes from the steering wheel as well. So there, I come into the manual mode. I can browse through, so I can decide how I want the sound, traction control, the suspension. It has got adaptive dampers. No air suspension here, doesn't really need it. And this is the drive mode selector. Too many drive modes, too confusing. Yeah, this is actually very confusing, sort of this Alcantara finish right here. But what about the heads-up display? It also has multiple modes. So I'm just going to come into, okay, I think I shut the heads-up display. Okay, and this is very difficult to operate because it's touch sensitive. So there's track pace, race, super sport, standard, minimal. Oh my god, there are way too many settings for the heads-up display. Can you see that? I don't think you can see that. It's on the grass already. But yeah, the car is feature loaded, and this thing obviously opens, but again, sort of a touch control to open it, which is not the most intuitive to use. There's a microphone here, AMG badging here, and it gets this carbon fiber sort of treatment as well. It says F1 e-performance. So these F1 stickers actually increase the price of this car. And when I turn it on, obviously it has this sort of a treatment. Actually, when I turn it off, it has this treatment which looks super duper cool. There you see. Yeah, it also comes here. So attention detail is obviously crazy in Mercedes cars. There it is. Nice, nah? The only thing is it has 4 less cylinders than it should be. But hey, I am not complaining. Everybody else is complaining, and they're doing it for the reason that the sound is something which is lacking here. So let's rev it. Yeah, we are in race mode. It sounds a little too electric as such. Doesn't really sound how a internal combustion engine should. And I just kept it on full race power. Yeah, there are 2 switches here. One is to open the fuel lid, and the other, it's not going to open right now because the car is on right now. So all those safety aspects are there. But is this car fast enough? Is it going to really thrill you with its performance, or it's about less cylinders means less fun? Let's start driving right away. Oh, by the way, that somehow opened. I was not expecting it to open. So this is where fuel goes in. Nice cover here, which is quite impressive. How much cost they put into smaller things which are not noticed on a daily basis. Rear fog lamps are on at the moment. It's basically a C-Class, however a C-Class which is very fast. Let's go. All right, it is time to start driving. The car does not roar to life because I think it started on EV mode, that electric sound in the new Mercedes cars. Anyway, straight away we come to race mode, and now the internal combustion engine kicks in. We are going to come into track pace because Mercedes has got a very interesting technology. Okay, every time you turn on the car, the audio system turns on. We come to the Budh International Circuit here, which has been fed in. Select boost strategy, accept it, and then we go here and decide whether we want it on hot laps or endurance. And I'll explain what exactly it does. So here we are. In fact, let's get into AMG performance and to see how much power is being channeled through here, and let's straight away start driving. So the C63 AMG has lost 4 cylinders, which is the big news, and it has lost those 4 cylinders overnight. How did that even happen? Because Mercedes believes it can bring Formula 1 technology to their cars. They are able to make them faster and more track specific, and that's exactly what they've tried to do with this particular car. Because of the electric motor, weight has gone up dramatically, but so has the performance. So I'm just going to turn off the air conditioning, and here we go. Somehow the car doesn't feel as heavy as I expected it to. Why is it not showing me the boost strategy?
Because you switched in another display.
Okay, so I have to be in this display, track pace.
Yeah. I can activate it.
Okay, that deactivates.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it will stay. We're going endurance?
Yeah.
All right. So what exactly is this boost strategy? Let me explain. The older car had a 4-liter V8 engine that has been downsized to 4 cylinders. This is the M139 engine, which obviously we know from the A45 AMG 2-liter engine, which produces 476 horsepower here. But the big news is that this engine now gets electric assist. So the engine powers the front wheel. Meanwhile, the electric motor is sitting on the rear axle, thereby providing power to the rear wheels. This electric motor produces just 50 kilowatt of power, which is 94 horsepower consistently. But for 10 seconds, it can offer you another boost of approximately 204 horsepower. So the total output goes from 476 plus 204, resulting in a combined output of 680 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output from the engine is 700 Newton meters, and with the electric motor providing 320 Newton meters, this car produces a colossal 1020 Newton meters of torque. The result is this car goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.4 seconds, which is approximately half a second faster than the older car. because the older 4-liter V8 used to produce 510 horsepower in the C63S, around 700 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in roughly 3.8 seconds. So yes, this car has become much faster, but it also weighs 500 kgs more when compared to before. 500 kgs is a lot of weight that has been added, even though Mercedes claims that the battery weighs only 89 kgs. So how does this car weigh 500 kgs more? Simply because this car also has an electric motor, right? And the weight of the battery and the motor adds up a lot. The electric motor has a 2-speed gearbox. Meanwhile, the internal combustion engine has a 9-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox. There are 8 drive modes. That's a lot of drive modes. And now we are going to do a race start, and then I will show you how this boost mode exactly works. You have the option of carbon ceramic discs. This is running on the steel discs, which are also actually high performance. So now it's the time to launch. We stop here, and as soon as I do that, this boost will activate on its own.
It's on.
Okay, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Race start. Zero to 100 in 3.36 seconds, faster than what Mercedes claims, which is quite impressive. The boost strategy did not come on.
Yeah.
It did not come on.
We have to cross the starting line.
Okay. So how does the boost strategy work? Like I was telling you, the full 204 horsepower from the electric motor only comes in when you activate the boost mode. And what exactly is the boost mode? Well, Mercedes realized that in Formula 1, when we have something known as crores, that can be translated to road cars, because the electric motor cannot have all the juice. It's a small battery. It's a 6.1 kilowatt hour battery, which charges using a 3.7 kilowatt AC charger and only slow charger. There is no DC charging. So approximately 1 hour to charge the battery, and that battery can also be charged by a regen. Other than regen, the battery can also be charged using the internal combustion engine. So there's a mode called battery hold, wherein it will hold the same amount of battery, so it will not deplete the battery any further by making sure that the engine charges the battery. So now, once we cross the finish line, I'm going to show you how this boost mode works. What Mercedes has done is they have studied circuits and fed that data into the car system, wherein the car knows, or rather suggests, when you can use the boost mode, because obviously the battery cannot provide you all that juice all throughout. So what is the most efficient way of deploying all that battery power is something the car knows now, and it tells you so that you can do faster laps. And there are 2 modes. One is when you're doing a quali lap, like a hot lap, that you just want all the juice from the battery for 1 lap, or there is endurance where you're doing multiple laps, obviously. So in terms of the engine, it is very powerful, and thanks to the electric motor, which is known as the electric drive unit, the engine definitely doesn't seem to have any lag whatsoever. It's fast, it's punchy, it's the most powerful 4-cylinder engine in the world, because 476 horsepower, that's a lot. And now is the time for us to try the boost mode. Artificial sound being piped in, that's the reason why the car does sound nice. You can see boost is activated here. It's telling me on the heads-up display as well. Does handle quite well, feels a bit oversteery. There's the difference, because this is 4MATIC Plus. The oversteer is actually contained, because as soon as you feel oversteery, the front axle kicks in, and once the front axle kicks in, it means that, okay, I press the accelerator pedal really hard. I got a 10-second boost here, so the accelerator pedal goes to 100%, and beyond that, when boost is available, you press it even further, gives you 10 seconds of additional boost, full 680 horsepower, and that is when this car goes this freaking fast. And we hit 253 kilometers per hour. Oh, okay, we were too hot here, but the handling is actually quite amazing. Rear wheel steering, which turns by up to 2.5 degrees. Very nice. Yeah, the engine feels punchy. There is no flat spot here. Only thing is, there is some confusion at times between on and off boost. Okay, I think the brakes are sort of fading in a bit. Yeah, so the thing is, this car is a bit confused at times between no boost and full boost. And the electric drive unit and the engine, although they're working very well for the most part, under full load, at times you feel that yes, there's a bit of a confusion happening there. But is downsizing the right thing to do? Well, Mercedes believes so. However, customers probably don't, because with 4 cylinders out, the C63 is now a very different animal. This car is now aimed towards being faster around the corners. It's chasing lap times instead of chasing fun and madness, because the old C63, although less powerful, definitely felt like a muscle car. Very loud. This one isn't. On the outside you can't hear much, but the fake sounds makes you feel some sort of sound on the inside. It's more livable with, because the older car now definitely felt very, very, very heavy. You needed a lot of skill to drive. Getting a little oversteery. So what this car does is that it contains oversteer by kicking in the front axle, and it has got torque vectoring as well, so you don't feel that weight around the corners. But under braking, I'm feeling that weight. I think it could do a little bit better in terms of the way it shifts all that weight, especially under braking. That weight can be felt around the corner. Somehow it's surprisingly very good. We have boost mode activated again. I think 3 sections where the boost mode is activated, and the boost mode actually works depending on the amount of time you want to activate the boost. The car feels super fluid, yeah. It really flows into the corners very nicely. It's actually very impressive a car. Trust me on this. I never expected the C63 to be this nice. Yeah, of course, we've been reading a lot of things that people were not impressed. Sales have fallen down. Not many people are buying this car because of the lack of 8 cylinders. It's actually Mercedes' fault. They should have not given V8 in the C63, because now people have that expectation. And that C63, the older one, was so bloody impressive that when they downsized, people were like, what the fluff? How could they reduce 4 cylinders overnight? They shouldn't have reduced 4 cylinders overnight. Instead, they should have reduced just 2 cylinders first, and then probably reduce the other 2 cylinders. Come on! Yeah. So they should have gone 6 cylinders first, just like how BMW has done with the M3. When they downsized from V8 to 6 cylinders, not many people complained. Yeah, the inline 6 cylinder is fantastic in the BMW M3 and the M4. Not many people complained, because they were like, okay, fine, only 2 cylinders have gone. However, cutting half the cylinders is a lot of cylinders being cut. But somehow the steering is just phenomenal here. It is so fluid, it's so responsive, gives you good amount of feel and feedback as well. Beautiful. The steering is beautiful. There's so much grip here as well. The engine actually should have sounded louder. A 4-cylinder can't sound like a V8, period. I'm having a lot of fun. The car feels so fast. It feels more secure. It's a car which definitely feels more composed, unlike the older C63, which definitely required a lot of skills, because rear wheel drive only. This is for the first time that this car is getting 4-matic system, and it's a very intelligent 4-matic system, the way it is deploying all that power. Price 2.3 crores on road Mumbai. Prices have gone up by 60 lakhs, because I remember the old C63 understeers here. I don't know why. Tires screeching. There's so much grunt coming from here. So yeah, this car cost rupees 2.3 crores. The older C63, when it was discontinued, 1.69 crores on road Mumbai, all the prices. Meanwhile, the car was launched at 1.57 crores. That was a coupe, 2-door obviously, and rear wheel drive V8. Absolute madness of sorts. The current M4 CS cost approximately 2.24 crores, cheaper than this car. Meanwhile, the M4 competition costs around 1.82 crores. So the M4 is like crazy price. But before I tell you what is crazier still is the Audi RS5, which is priced at around 1.34 crores. That is crazy value for money as well. So as I see it, the new C63 isn't been adopted because of the lack of 4 cylinders. Rather, it doesn't have a V8. However, if you drive this car once, you will be thoroughly impressed. It's fast. All the tech is just amazing. I just wish the brakes were better. You have to get the carbon ceramic disc, because the brake fit seems to be quite apparent here, and you can't do anything about the weight. Yeah, the weight is obviously going to be there because of the battery. We have come to reserve fuel. It's not much more efficient, even though it has cut cylinders, because right now the whole essence is putting more energy back into the battery, and the battery is completely depleted right now. So as I see it, fantastic car. Drive it, then only you'll really appreciate it. Otherwise, we're all going to be stuck in the V8 era. I know I am. It's easy to go fast. Electric cars go really fast. A Tesla is super duper fast, so is a Lucid, but nobody really takes those cars to the track. This car can still do a lot of track stuff because it's just amazing to drive. But that said, if I have to buy a Mercedes C63, I will still long for the older V8 model, because cars are not about lap times. Not all cars are about lap times. If you really want to do lap times, there are a lot of cars better suited to the track which weigh almost 600-700 kgs lighter than this. The weight of this car around 2200 kgs, which is a lot. Yeah, that is a lot of weight. But somehow that weight can't be felt, so they've done great weight balance. What they've done is they put the electric drive unit on the rear axle, the gearbox somewhere in the center, the engine is obviously at the front. They've managed to get 50-50 weight distribution, because of which the car drives like a charm, and this is the place where it sort of oversteers as well. I'm just going to leave you with a few clips of my absolute favorite C63, because it's smoking hot. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Oh, you artificial sounds. Bye bye.